MAT contract is a software taking care of the procurement needs starting from the MTO analysis at the item level, including the substitution and store transfer processes, material tracking from MTO levels through intermediate stages like MR, PR, PO, till the delivery of the material at construction sites. And Storeman is the application taking care of all store management activities, starting from the receiving of the material through inspections, rejections and tracking with the vendors until the issuance of the material to the production houses and to the subcontractor agents. So let's understand here the detailed overview on the MAT contract side. So very first, we are getting the input as an engineering data to the MAT contract application. So engineering data is nothing but the item master library for all disciplines, and it contains the key information for the items beginning with the engineering codes. Now here facility is available like other codes such as the procurement code, or if the company is maintaining their own library, the company code or the vendor code. So n number of relationship of the codes can be managed over here. We have the other module called ICGP, which is taking care of these mapping activities and supplying this input to the MAT contract application. Another key inputs are the bulk material data, that is the bulk MTO, which is we are receiving from the engineering group in the form of various MTO stages like intermediate stage, preliminary stage, intermediate stage, final stage, and so on. And line-wise MTO is also an option available over here. If an engineering group is providing the line-wise MTO, this can also be taken care over here. Second stage is the MTO quantity analysis. Now we are receiving various stages MTOs such as preliminary, intermediate, final, and top-up MTOs. It becomes necessary to find out the effective quantity for the procurement. So these stages we have MTO we have received through these stages. Also, we are considering here the contingency quantity for the escalation purposes. So contingency quantity can be supplied as an input, random input, suitable input, or else it can also be automated through the Excel. Excel is nothing but the rule-based Excel, where rules are supplied with respect to the material, base material, size range, and group, what kind of group it is, whether it is a pipe fittings or whether it is the instruments or the tag items. So these factors are considered for automation, and based on these supplied factors and supplied percentages rule, the system will automatically consider the escalation quantity to add in top of the MTO effective quantity. Additionally, substitution procedure is also taken care over here. If any substituted quantity is available to consider with respect to the minor modifications, acceptable modifications, basically, those quantities will also be considered. Stock transfer, if we are getting the material, if a project is receiving the material from another source of the same project, or maybe from the another project of the same company, so this stock is also considered over here. By considering all of these parameters, the effective quantity for the procurement is being calculated and considered for the further requisition and procurement processes. Next, procurement. So in procurement, raising the purchase requisition, raising the purchase order to the qualified vendors, and tracking for the updating ordering quantities. Now, as purchase order has already initiated, there are chances like MTO may again get released by the engineering group, and the effective quantity may get fluctuate. So tracking these updated quantities during the procurement processes is also taken care over here. Next, delivery schedule tracking. Now, as PO has been placed with the vendor, it becomes necessary to track the material delivery. So expediting material delivery by tracking the key dates like contractual delivery date, CDD, forecast delivery date, FDD, and shipment release dates, SRD. As well as if companies auditing at the inspections at the manufacturer's locations, then inspection dates can also be tracked over here. And once the material is shipped from the manufacturer's house to the delivery location, the material may also be tracked into the transit stage. So transit dates are also captured over here. Comparison, all of these inputs are available with us. Now it becomes necessary to do the comparison for tracking the quantities and measuring the supply. So PO versus the purchase request, material takeoff versus the purchased quantities, ordered versus the delivered quantities. These are the popular screens. Apart from this, user may also customize their screen as they want and do the analysis. Next is the planning with respect to the material. So it's now important. Here we are going to do the material planning to take care of the further production activities. So what are the sources we are considering here? Like availability of the material, whether it is inspected or the non-inspected. So inspected material are tracked here separately. Non-inspected material are just the received material, but these are not inspected as of now. Material purchase order, it is placed, as well as the other delivery dates like the transit dates or the CDD, SRD, and the FRD dates. Next, material MTO from the engineering. So these all are the data sources considered during the planning procedures. Integration and the issuance. So Spoolman and ERMan, these are the other modules of the EPC ProMan. So MAT contract and Storeman is directly integrated with the Spoolman and ERMan application. Spoolman is the piping spool fabrication management software, while ERMan is the erection management software. So spool management and erection management is also performing the further material analysis procedures with respect to the issued job card to the fabricators and erection contractors, and with respect to the available work front, assigned work front with respect to the priorities. Now priorities can be assigned to the isometric lines or the spools, as well as to the areas like the units or the complexes where these works is resided. Apart from these, other priorities may also be assigned with respect to the consideration of the other factors such as the material inch dia or even the base material. So this application is integrated with these other modules, and all of these activities not only can be done on the piping discipline, but also on the structural, civil, equipment, electrical, E&I, and the HSE disciplines. So that's the overview on the MAT contract side. So let's understand here the cycle procurement to the delivery schedule. So these are the key stages are taken care for the delivery, measuring the duration from procurement to the delivery schedule. So initiating the activities from the material takeoff. Now here we can see the MTOs are taken care over here, like the preliminary MTO, intermediate MTO, final MTO, and top of MTO into the series. So I would like to show you the example how these MTOs are look like. So this is the typical template of the particular MTO. Item code wise, item type wise, description wise, further properties are given, size of the quantity, size of the particular item. Contingency quantity, as I said earlier, it can be given manually through this Excel, or else it can be derived through the Excel rule base. So Excel is separately available in the settings master. In that case, contingency will not be required to enter it manually. System will calculate automatically based on the MTO quantity. Next is the MTO quantity, MTO revision number, or the MTO stage. Like this could be my preliminary MTO or the intermediate MTO. So stage I can also write over here. And what is the MTO date? So this is the format of the bulk MTO. I'm showing you the another format, like there are chances engineering may also deliver us the line-wise MTO as an further final stage MTO or the top of MTO. In that case, apart from the item code, the line reference will also come into the picture along with the line revision numbers, and remaining format will remain same as it is. So with respect to the line, the WBS is also captured over here, like complexes and the units. So this format may also be supplied to the MAT contract system. So that's the material takeoff. Once material takeoff is available, it's the next stage is to evaluate the MTO for getting the effective quantity of the procurement. So in this evaluation, substitution material, stock transfer voucher material, these two factors are considered, and by considering these factors, the effective material requirement quantity is being calculated. So various analysis data is considered over here in the background. The analysis data is nothing but the substitution and STV. The further background process is the request for quotation, tendering process, and the finalization of the vendor. So these three topics itself are the bigger topics, and the other module of the Parascat products is the EPC Proma. So EPC Proma application is taking care of these all tendering processes in the very much detailed manner. Next, once we have got the effective quantity, the purchase request will be initiated to the qualified vendors, and the purchase order will be placed against them. Once purchase order is placed, then delivery schedule will be tracked. Now in delivery schedule, we can track for the activities such as CDD, FDD, SRD, and transit ETA. For an example, I am showing you the FDD. So this way of input can be supplied to the system with respect to the item code, item description, item type. We are coming to know here what is our PO number, what is our PO quantity. Now, what is the forecast delivery quantity against this particular PO quantity? So FDD quantity and what is the FDD date is mentioned over here. So this input is supplied to the system. Into the similar way, FDD, the shipment SRD also will be maintained or is released by the particular vendor. Then SRN numbers, SRN quantity, SRN dates, this data will be managed over here for the further evaluation. Now, all of these dates we are going to be considered in our further material planning processes. Like similar to the SRD, transit ETA will also be tracked over here. Like here, vendor inspection quantity it's shown. Once inspection is done at the manufacturer's location, how many quantities are inspected, this will be entered over here. Now, these quantities can also be splitted against the PO quantity. Like against 11 number of the quantities, there are chances like currently inspected quantities are only 5. So whatever is the quantity as on date that is inspected, it can be splitted over here. Expected time of arrival, whatever quantities are being released for the delivery, those will be entered over here along with the expected time of arrival date. So these are the inputs are considered over here from the during the procurement to the delivery schedule cycle. Now, what are the material distribution procedures handled with this application? Let's understand here. There are like 3 procedures are handled, like central control, non-central controlled, and the demand control. Now, what is these 3 controlling systems? Let's understand here. Right now, we are looking at the central control. Here, 4 segments are involved: procurement, central store, material planning, and the fabrication shop facility. So here, it's a project have these many segments. Once procurement is initiated their purchase activities, the purchase order will be placed to the vendors. The vendor will start the manufacturing and shipping processes. Shipment will be released. Then shipment will be released in, right now we are looking at the central control. Then shipment will be released to the central store. So in central store, the material will be received via the document called like MRR or the DMR, material received. Once material is received over here, then inspection procedures will take into the place like MRR, material received inspection report. And during the inspection, there are chances like the inspector may found the material is over received or the short received, or some of the material itself is rejected. It's not meeting the technical specification. And there are chances some material might be a damage. So OSRD register will be maintained over here. By neglecting the OSRD, whatever quantities are left with us are the nothing but the pure material stock at central store. And now we have the balance stock register in the form of this material stock. Once this material stock is available with us, then planners activity will be started for the material planning. So we have the like look ahead material planning process. We are going to see that in detail. So look ahead material planning will start into the picture, as well as the central store will share this available stock with the fabrication shop facility, and their activity will also be started. So fabrication shop facility, they will raise the material requisition for the further issuance. Based on their requisition, the packing list or the MIVR, which is nothing but the soft MIV copy, will be generated at the central store. Then material kitting and packaging will be done, and it will be further dispatched to the deliveries location. So dispatching will be done and delivery notes will be tracked. Now dispatching will be done to the fabrication shop facility. It could be a one facility or many facilities, depends on the nature of the project scale. So further, this material will be received by the fabrication shop facility, and fabrication shop facility store will also follow the similar procedures. Only here the issuance will be done to the subcontracting companies or the production houses. So this is the central control store where material is being supplied from the central store to the fabrication shop facility store. Next is the non-central control. So for example, in the small scale projects, the central store concept may itself will not come into the picture. In that case, the shipment will be directly released to the fabrication shop facilities. So this is also we are achieving, that is the non-central control. And third one is the like demand control. So in demand control, especially like in the large scale projects where number of the complexes or the number of units, number of production facilities is more in the number, and material supply demand is running in the high in the space. So in that case, the demand control flow can also be achieved over here. Like here we can see the shipment is directly released to the central store, as well as on the basis of the demand, it is also directly released to the fabrication shop facility stores. Apart from this, central store may also supply the material to the other fabrication shop facilities. Not only the central store, but fabrication shop facilities are more than one. The one fabrication shop facility may also release the material to another fabrication shop facility. And how are we achieving this? Via the store transfer concept as well as the material issuance concepts. So that is the material distribution plans. Next, let's understand here the material look ahead planning procedures with this flow diagram. So in this look ahead planning procedures, there are like three segments are available, three swim lanes we can see. First, upper swim lane is for the input, middle one is the program, and bottom one is the output. So what we are getting inside the MTO, inside the input, very first input is the material takeoff. In initial screens, we have understood how many stages of the MTOs we are receiving, like intermediate stage MTOs, preliminary MTOs, final MTOs. So all of these MTOs will be received as an input. Whenever these MTOs are taken into the planning stage, there are also chances like engineering will keep changing the quantities as their reviewing procedures, model reviewing procedures also running in the background. So whatever changes are receiving, this will be also considered over here. And whatever is the effective quantity to be considered for the analysis, this will be considered through this material takeoff input procedures. Next input is the master production schedule, where the customer order or the client requirement. Here, like priorities are considered, what complex or what unit or the what base material type, as well. Apart from this, what should be the first contractor who should get the material. All of these things are considered over here. For example, I'll show you this through the example. For example, this is the isometric line that we need to be manufacture or the fabricate. So here are two lines, isometric line A and isometric line B. So what kind of inputs we can supply to this master production schedule? First is like the time schedule in terms of the man hours, how much time we are going to be required. What is the time deadline that we can supply over here? Workstation, I have I have more fabrication facilities or the bay areas or the workshop stations. So what workshop station I'm going to be used for fabrication of this particular activity. So these are also again preset over there, like spool management is our model where this allocation is already done over there. Next is the like manpower plan. So I have the multiple crews with me, like fitters, welders. I have multiple crews working in the different time frames, morning shift, day shift, and general shift and the night shift. So which gang I am looking to assign over for the fabrication of this particular line that I can assign over here. Next is the manufacturing priorities. Now, for example, I have here two lines, and both the lines require the same materials, same pipe and same elbows and the same another fitting. So I have to decide here the manufacturing priority. If I'm running with the specific shortage quantity, the system will take care the allocation of the quantities based on the assigned priorities. If I am assigning priority to the isometric line B, my elbows, if I have only 3 elbows, those 3 elbows will be assigned to the isometric line B. And then if additional elbows are available, then it will be look for assigning to the isometric line A. Alternatives and substitution. If I am running short and I have got the additional additional items with me with respect to the minor changes, like changes are available with the manufacturing procedures. These are not the seamless but the fabricated elbows, and if it is acceptable by to the specification and metallurgy is also acceptable, schedule is also acceptable, then substitution may also come into the picture, and with respect to that, the material will get assigned over there. So these are the things we are defining for right now in this demonstration. I have given my focus on the manufacturing priorities and the alternatives and the substitutions. So these things are also supplied here as an input. Next input is the purchase status file. What is the effective procurement quantities available with us? This can be tracked over here through these purchase status files. So by PO number, by vendor name, by particular tag or the item code wise, what is the total ordered quantity available with me is shown over here. I'll consider this ordered quantity or the procured quantity with me. Another statuses are the delivery schedule. Like here, shipment quantities are mentioned with respect to the shipment dates, transit dates, CDD dates, FDD dates. Other parameters can also be a part of this procurement status file, or else it could be also be a part of the other delivery schedule. So these are the inputs I have supplied. Once I received this input and once I set this basics into the system, my analysis will be run, and output of the analysis I'll get in the form of like changes to the plan orders. So I have done these inputs. I have given the my requirements to the system. So in the output, I'll get here where I'm running shortage for the particular item. So for example, here I'm looking my output line ID wise, item code wise, what is the shortage quantity I'm having here I'm getting as an output. So if I have to fabricate a specific particular isometric line, I should have these quantities with me. Now with respect to the shortage quantity, I will further do the analysis. I will look into the another stores, and if any substitution is available with me, means this my analysis will keep going on and going on for getting this particular quantity. If not, then the shortage quantity will be referred by the procurement discipline for the further procurement purposes. Like first spreadsheet I have shown for the line, this spreadsheet is showing irrespective of line, it is a bulk result. Item code wise, what is the total shortage quantity? This is I am receiving over here. Apart from these, like we are getting these planning reports, performance reports, exception reports, or the error log reports. So what I am getting inside the planning reports, let's understand. So here, like in the comparison report, MTO versus PO, this is I am getting over here. So item code wise, now here I have considered two factors for the comparison. One is the MTO and second is the PO. So required quantity of the MTO. So now this is the effective required quantity the system has calculated based on the provided inputs. Now this is the required quantity for the specific item code and how much I have ordered. So total ordered quantity I have given over here through my PO order concept. Now what is the quantity to be ordered if I am running for the shortage? And if I have already excess order, now quantity is over ordered over here. In this case, I will see this in this particular column. Now in the first example, 88 quantities are the over ordered and it is an additional surplus with me, available with me. So I can utilize this surplus into the substitution procedures, and I will keep it ready for the further, the system will look ahead for the coming input on the another, for the coming input of the quantities for the another items. And if these quantities are getting matched, then substitution procedures can be employed over there. So that is the comparison between MTO and the PO. Next comparison is between the MTO, PO, MRR. The MRR is the received quantities and MRR is the inspected quantities. So like here I am showing you the item quantities, effective quantity of the latest effective MTO, PO quantities, MRR quantity, received quantities, and the inspected quantities. So this analysis can also be done over here for the further evaluation purposes. Next is the look ahead planning report. So this kind of report we are generating, I'll show you in the Zoom screen. So this report we can see on our screen, it is divided in three parts. Upper part is the table entry. Central part is the graphical entry for the number of line count, and bottom part is the progressing entries for the terms of the inch dash. So let's see here. Like here we can see in this particular look ahead procedures where this report is generated, I have considered the data sources of PO, procurement quantities, as well as the transit quantities, estimated time of arrival quantities. So I am going to receive the particular materials on this particular time frame. So on the top in the labels, dates are also provided over here. Now against what I am looking this analysis, so we can see in this summary. So this analysis is done on the like isometric side. So system is the group and the loop. These are the two inputs are shown over here. So this particular analysis is done for the system and loop. Apart from this loop, in the green color segment, we can see the line level analysis is done. And in the bottom, in the light yellow color, the MDI wise and the effective inch dia wise numbers are shown. So for an example, I will read this PO entry for you. So with respect to the PO, which is the total overall PO available with us, I can see here how many number of systems is possible for me to build. So right now my scope is the one system, but none of this means I cannot build this system because I'm still running short at somewhere. Similarly, I can see this result for the loop. I have one loop. I have defined only one loop like to the system. Also, this entire loop is also not possible to build. I'm running somewhere short, and that the shortages is shown in the form of this partial count, partial possible system, and partial possible loop. Now let's go into the more fine tuning. Right now in this green segment, I am looking for the result on the line level. So with respect to the ordered quantities, I have in this particular lookup analysis, I have supplied the input for the total line 6,272. Out of that, with respect to the ordered quantity, I have found there are 5,198 lines are possible for the complete fabrication with respect to the PO quantity. And how many partial possible lines? 847 lines are also possible to manufacture partially. There are 227 lines which are not completely possible to fabricate. Now all these analyses is came out with respect to the priorities that I have assigned to the system. So in the further demonstration, we are going to see how these priorities, etc., are assigned. I'm showing you the result right now. Similar to the line, this MDI, material dia inch, is also shown and calculated. Now this again, these numbers are calculated with respect to the top PO source. Now, similar to the PO source, the further analysis is done with respect to the available dates. On this particular dates, we are going to receive the additional material. Now, what would be the our count? This is further calculated. Now, we can see in this like chart, my green color row, which is the actual possible results. Green color row is my completely possible line results. Has grown, it has gone increased. See, it is a cumulative numbers considered. So based on the receiving quantities on this particular day, my green color column is also it has got increased. And it also means if green is increasing, yellow is also decreasing. My partial quantities are turning into the green color results. I'm getting the completely possible results. And blue color shade is showing for the total scope of the line. Red is also getting decreasing because my green is increasing. Red is the not possible line results. And all of these numbers are represented in terms of the inch dia in this bottom chart. So that was the look ahead, material look ahead planning result. So that's the one material look ahead planning. Going ahead. So this is the another key report we can see on our screen. So item level wise, so item group wise, this matrix chart is shown over here. So item wise, like fittings, flanges, pipes, and walls, as well as their sub description is considered here, like the MOC. So fittings, alloy steel, carbon steel, stainless steel, as well as the other groups also is further subdivided. And what information is tracked over here for this particular fittings? In the matrix, in the column, we can see the number of size is also distributed, like below 2 inches and equal and above 2 inches. So what is the MTO requirement quantity as of now for the alloy steel for the fittings? 312. What is the ordered quantity? 318. How much is received so far? And what is the current balance? Balance is calculated after issuing of the material. So similarly, these numbers are calculated for the another groups. So that was the deliverables of the MAT contracts. Next module is the store management procedures. So it's a warehouse management procedures taking care of the complete store management processes. So here are we are going to understand this overview through these 3 segments. First is the like inbound. So what are the quantities can be received inside the warehouse? What are the sources? So first source is the like purchase invoicing. We have raised the PO. Now we are going to receive the material through this purchase invoice. And by referring this purchase invoice, we are going to generate the material receipt. Next is the manufacturing and assembly. Now it could be the suppose the contracting company is there, subcontracting company is there, or the even owner company is there. They may also have the fabrication facility, so they will also manufacture the assemblies and the individual tagging items. So this manufacturing and assembly is also the inbound. Next is the transfers in within means within the particular project. So a particular project have the multiple stores. So transferring the material inside a specific store from the particular another store of a same project. And transfer in others means the other project store belonging to the same company. So transferring in from the other sources. Next, internal processing. Now, once we received these material quantities on the items with us, what are the internal store processing we are following, measuring it within the storeman application? Receipt is the DMR procedure. So receipt is the receiving of the material on the schedule basis, like daily, weekly, or monthly. Apart from this, evaluating the OSRD register as well, like measuring the over received quantity, rejection quantity, damaging quantities. So these are the receipts. Once a receipt is done, then performing the inspection. Now, inspection can also be done by the various stakeholder agencies. Suppose the project is operating by the contractor, so contractor QC department will also do the inspection. If required, the request for inspection can also be raised for the consultant or the owner companies. So multiple RFIs can be generated here as well. Now, with respect to the inspection, maintaining of the balance register, storing the quantities inside the particular laydown yard or the storage or the bin yards, then moving these particular quantities from one layer down to the another layer down, or from one location to the another location, declaring the scraps with respect to the consideration of the depreciation. So declaration of the scrap, these are the all the internal procedures. Now, what is the outbound? What we are delivering? What is the store is delivering outside? They are delivering the material based on the material request they have received from the subcontracting agencies or the production houses. So production issuance through the material issue vouchers, vendor returns, whatever are the rejected items or the damaged items, those will be returned out with respect to the OSRD copy. So vendor returns, transfer out, like similar to the transfer in, it is a transfer out. Material can be shipped to the another store of the same project, or it could also be shipped to the especially different projects different stores belongs to different projects of a same company. Now, all these procedures can also be handled apart from the manual entries. These procedures can also be handled intelligently with the techniques of the barcoding and the RFID. So all these procedures, starting from the inbound to the outbound, the store department may also implement the barcoding technology within their organization, and all of these procedures can be monitored and progressed via the mobile devices, as well as like the mobile app, mobile tablet devices, etc., and the scanner mediums. So I'll give you the little overview on this technology in the next slide. We can see here trace and tracking is our module which is taking care of these activities. Like here we can see RFID tags as well as the paper barcodes can be generated. Now these barcodes and RFID tag will be generated by supplying the information to them. For example, I am looking to generate the barcode for a specific component. So I'll supply the information like item code, heat number, MTC number, particular quantity, MOC, and the length. In cases of the metric items like the pipe or the cables, I will also supply the standard length to them. So it's completely flexible for me what parameters I should supply to this RFID and barcode. So this is the printer we can see. This printer will be configured within the store, and there will be a writer available with along with this printer. The writer will write the information into this particular RFID tag, and this tag will store this particular information. And further, these tags as well as the paper barcode and tags are the optional to each other. This will be further tied up or pasted to the particular items, or as well as to the particular tag components. Once this tagging is done, then this tagging will be done during the receipt process itself, and during the inspection procedures itself, and it will be available with them along across the further procedures till the issuance of the material. Now, for the, like here we can see this various scanners and the handheld devices are used for scanning the particular barcode or identifying or locating the particular barcodes. And this is the mobile application screen we can see over here. Now, this mobile application is for particularly tracking the specific item. Suppose I have the spool items located inside the big laydown yard. So it becomes necessary to identify this particular item in a gradual day basis whenever the requirement of the issuance is coming. So I can also use this particular gun for scanning this barcode. And whenever I am reaching to particular object, the scanning gun will give me the indicator, like this purple color is the indicator. It will give me the notification I am close to my object. So this way I can also track my particular object for the further issuance purposes. So that's the trace and tracking module. The detailed information on this particular module can also be found on the Parascad Home website. So what are the reports we are generating through this store application? This is the stock register report, material receipt report, material inspection receipt report, material reconciliation report, overshot reject damage report, request for inspection report, item summary report. And apart from this, there are like many other key reports, like in MAT contract, I have said user can customize their reports however they want through the query builder. So that was the concept part. Now let's go ahead into the actual software and understand the software demonstration. So right now I'm going to access the MAT contract application. So I have clicked this icon and performing my login credentials, giving the input of my login credentials. So this is the home screen after the login. On the left hand side, we can see the tasks. Various tasks to perform are available over here. Very first task is defining the item code type. Now, as an organization, I may have the multiple number of item code. In the beginning of the slides, I have discussed the software can manage the multiple number of the item codes. And ICGP is one of our software which is taking care of this coding part. So I have defined here the item code types that I am going to be used. And next, it is necessary to set the base code. Like I have defined the 2 item code types. But what is the base code I should consider to monitor and generate inside the reports and to monitor inside on a particular display. So this base code I'm setting over here. So I have set this coding part. Now next, defining of the categories. So these categories are like the procurement categories, especially with respect to the receiving of the material or the issuing of the material by the category like free issue or the not free issue. There are chances like some of the materials might be getting from the consultant or the owner companies. So in that case, I will also define here the category like free issue material. Now going to perform the further uploading. So I have selected here the discipline pipeline and going to browse the Excel. Now this is the item master template, item code, description, all standard item related parameters are shown, schedule, thickness, sizes, etc. So I have defined over here and I'm going to upload it. I have uploaded this particular item master against the discipline piping. In the same manner, I can also upload the same item master for the other disciplines. Now going to supply the another input, that is the MTO. Now providing here the bulk format. Now this is my bulk format MTO, as I have received the bulk template from the engineering group. So this is the template. We already seen this template. Mapping these parameters and providing the input. Saving this input. Now, as I said, like there are also line-wise MTO template is provided. If line-wise MTOs are also coming, I can upload it as well without really consolidating outside. So this is the line-wise MTO with the line references and the line revisions. So again, for the same piping discipline, I have uploaded these MTOs. Now, as it is a line-wise MTO, I need to supply the line revision intelligence to the system over here, as line revisions may also come into the alphabetic manner. So for the system's understanding, I have supplied the information. Now, consolidation of the MTO. I cannot process the line for the procurement purposes because procurement has nothing to do with the line references. So here I'm going to consolidate this line MTO and going to form the bulk quantities of this particular line MTO. So I have done this consolidation. I have given the reference like MTO01. My line reference has now, it has disconsidered now. Now next is the defining of the procurement requisition and the procurement order. And prior to that, it's become necessary to set some basics. So here I am first defining my tax types that I am going to be considered while initiating the purchase request order. So tax types like I have defined over here, and now I'm going to add these tax types into the particular cost code. So cost code are nothing but my pre-work. I'm defining here the taxation codes that I'm going to be employed during the purchase order procedures. So I will not select individual tax over there. I will simply select the cost code to apply on the PO value. So for example, I am defining here the cost code B, defining the tax types that I'm going to be considered in this cost code. I have considered service tax, for example, 12.5% on the complete PO value, and defining the VAT on 4%. Now here I have a choice whether I can define this VAT on the complete PO value or on a sum of PO value plus the service tax value. So this is the cost code I am building over here for my ready reference for the further initiating procedures. Now I'm going to generate the purchase request. So this is the data available through the MTO analysis on my screen. So I'm going to select some of the items for the purchase requisition. I have selected here the pipe item. Now on our screen, we can see I have shown here the few columns like existing PR quantity with respect to PR. So 0 numbers are there and 60 numbers are there. So 60 numbers means some of these quantities are already requested in the existing PR. So similar to this, now in which PR I can click on this particular link and a pop-up will give me the details of the existing PR. Similar to this, I can also monitor existing PR quantity with respect to the PO. Now PO is also raised. I can monitor the PO detail, existing PO detail, what was the unit price, who was the vendor who supplied the material, at what price, and what was the total quantity. So this is the reference I can monitor over here. So I'm going to select some of these items for the further requisition purposes. So I have selected these 3 items and I can define here now my PR quantities to flow ahead for the procurement purposes. So I have given this input, going to define the number PR09C. I have saved this particular purchase request. Now next, I'm going to utilize this purchase request for my PO creation. And again, the similar effective PR screen is available on my screen. So I'm going to select some of the item with respect to the other properties, like I have filtered here for the size and item pipe. Again, I can monitor here the history of the PO. A similar level of the history was available in the PR screen and same is available on the PO screen for the further analysis. Now I have selected these 3 items, pipes. So the summary of these 3 items is available on the upper screen and the bottom screen is the selecting screen. So I'm going to supply here the quantities, providing the unit price per UM and defining the cost code, which was earlier created. So based on the provided cost code, service tax and VATs are automatically calculated over here and the total amount is calculated over here. Now this is the preview screen. I can reconfirm my data over here and I can select which vendor is the eligible vendor to whom against whom I am going to create this purchase order. So selecting here these 3 items and I am cross-checking my all parameters before final saving. So looking for the parameters, cost codes, item types, their sizes, cost parameters, service value, tax value, VAT values, and the vendor, and at last the grand total of the amount. So going to generate this PO, generating this particular PO. A PO is generated. I can view this copy of this particular PO in the existing screen tab. So this is an example template of a particular PO, which is just right now I have created. Material code, number of pieces, quantities, unit price, complete price, what are the taxes I have added. Apart from these, the additional terms and conditions can also be supplied through this setting tab. Now next, so far we have seen the PO process. Now next I'm going to track the delivery with respect to along with the vendor. So under the transit tab, we can see CDD, FDD, SRN, and the transit forms are available. Right now we are looking for the CDD. The third last column on our grid, we can see the PO quantity. Against this PO quantity, what is the CDD quantity? What is the CDD date? this input I have supplied to the system. So I will use these parameters, these attributes in my further material evaluation procedures. Next, FDD, similar to the CDD nature, I have added the forecasting delivery quantities over here. Next, uploading the shipment release note quantity. Now, SRN here can be uploaded, like here, PO quantity and SRN quantity and SRN date is shown. So apart from the uploading, I can also create the SRN document on our screen itself, like here in SRN tab, create SRN and the upload SRN is available. SRN is like a key document, so it can also be created over here. So I'm clicking on create SRN now. I will get this particular grid where PO is raised. So item wise PO information, PO quantity information is available on my screen. So SRN quantity is available. Some of the quantities are created, which is visible on our screen. Unit price, complete price, vendor names, where PO against whom the PO is raised is available on our screen. I can select these two particular item and can supply the SRN quantity in this particular grid as well. So that's the creation side. Next is the tracking the inspection and ETA. So I have clicked on upload create transit. We can see here against the PO quantity, vendor inspection quantity can also be supplied, and transit quantity is supplied over here. These are the items are released and are currently in shipment right now. So expected time of arrival is supplied over there. So that was the delivery tracking part. Now next is the addition and the substitution. It has the three nodes like addition, substitution. Some of the substitution can be done on the returnable basis, so returning the substitution, and the store transfer from one store to the another store of a same project or the another projects of the same company. So right now let's focus on the addition and substitution. So three grids are available. We can see at top, like I'm selecting the store. At top, receiver details are available. In middle screen, donor details are available. And in the bottom grid, the summary details are available. So in receiver grid, I can select here which item I am looking for getting the substitution. Now the substitution criteria is shown over here, like through this show setting form. Like here, criteria setting, we can read like item, item type, subtypes, material, MOC, unit of measure, and the size. These are the bare minimum parameters are considered for getting the substitution result automatically. Now, with respect to these settings, I'm going to perform this analysis on the substitution side. So right now I'm selecting a particular item called pipe. All pipes available inside the project are available. I can further apply filter to the size or the heat numbers as well. Now, these further columns are giving me the statuses where these quantities are blocked. Some of the quantities are already issued. And at last, I can see in the second last column, what is my eligible quantity to donate. Now, eligible quantity to donate is calculated based on the consideration of the another transactions, which is already ongoing on a particular item. So for example, I have considered this particular item. Now, upon the selection, the donor screen got loaded. With respect to the criteria, the items are loaded. And right now, for example, I'm selecting this particular item with the eligible quantity to donate 14.123. In the second last column, we can see. And as I have selected these two items, my third grid is also loaded with the summary. Now in the summary detail, I can monitor my final preview before saving this submission. So receivers details, cumulative donation quantity, cumulative issued quantity, currently soft blocked quantity. So all these transactions are considered over here. Available for donation, soft blockages, eligible to donate. So 14.123 is the donated eligible quantity. And in the second last column, donating quantity, I can enter my quantity, which is I'm looking for the donation. So I have entered like 12 meter quantity, and with this method, I can save these procedures. So that was the substitution side. Next is the now planning side, material look ahead planning. Now here, some prior to the look ahead procedures, we have to set some presets. Like here, first we have to define the system right now I am focusing on the piping discipline, where the project natures are mostly like the refinery natures. So I have defined here the system. I have also defined here the loops and assigning the priorities over here to the my WBS. Like these many complexes are available within my projects. These many units. Now my isometrics are going to be assigned and mapped against these particular units. I have 4 stores, total 4 stores. Now which store supposed to be considered first for the material soft blocking? These priorities are assigned over here. Next is the assigning the priorities to the line. So these are the isometric lines MTO we had uploaded in initial screen we have seen. Now I can supply these priorities to this particular line, either by importing the Excel. At the footer of the screen we can see import Excel button is available. So by importing the Excel, or either by manually assigning on the screen itself. So I have assigned here the priorities to the particular lines by considering the priorities given by the consultant and the client. Next, defining the pipe length for the material die inch. Now it becomes necessary for my analysis to define the length of the pipe. That is, I supposed to be considered to generate the material die inch. For an example, there are possibilities. I may procure the purchase pipe length with the double random length, like 12 meter of the pipe. But my field weld marking is I'm looking to perform at the 6 meter of the pipe, or the less 4 meter of the pipe. 6 meter pipe I have considered for an example as a benchmark. So I have to define here, even though I am procuring the 12 meter of pipe, but this particular item should be braked at the 6 meter of the length. Then only my particular weld is going to be considered, weld joint is going to be considered on a particular isometric line. So that's the MDI. I'm defining here the pipe length. And once all these presets are ready with me, I'm ready to go ahead for the look ahead process. So this is the look ahead screen. On the white area, lines are available, and on the data source part, all the data sources are available. We had discussed these data sources, and all of these data sources are preloaded in the earlier screen just we have seen. I can employ or I can utilize any of the data sources or a group of data sources for this material look ahead analysis. So MTO, MR, PR, PO, transit, etc. All these data sources are available. So for this particular analysis, I have considered the inspected quantities. I am going to select this particular lines. I am supplying exception input, like if any fitting type I am looking to provide the exemption, I can untick that fitting type. I am setting here my possibility result. I am looking for the completely possible results, not for the partial possible results. And further heads are available for the filtrations. If required, we can filter those as well. So next, going to look ahead process. I'm going to press this button, look ahead. I have pressed it, and the analysis is running, and the results are popped up in the color formats. So green, red, yellow color formats are available over here on our screen, as well as the summary is available at the footer of the right hand screen. We can see number of lines, number of partial results. Color codes are available over here, like green are completely possible, yellow partially possible, red are not possible with respect to the system, loop and lines. So I'm generating these results in the Excel right now. Overall result is generated. So this is the results. So this is the summary screen right now. As I said, I have employed the data source only IMR. So only IMR is available in C column. Now this is the chart look ahead planning based on MTO versus IMR. So it is telling me the possibility of the number of lines. The blue color is the total number of lines, green is the possible lines, red one is the not possible line, yellow is the partial possible line. And same results instead of number of lines is available in the material dia inch form. So those exactly line representing in terms of the material dia inch. So I will get here the scope, how much scope is available with us for the further manufacturing procedures. And these are the other results, IMR. And these are the other results like the constraint and shortage quantities we are going to be monitored. Now this is the line wise shortage quantity. We can see line ID, item code, description, and at last column constraint quantities shown over there. So these 5 quantities of these particular gaskets are short to manufacture this particular line. Next is the distribution analysis. Like here, 5 categories are considered with respect to the line: pipe, fittings, flanges, valves, and gaskets. Now, each individual line is distributed into the 100 percentages. So, 100 percentages of a specific line is distributed amongst these categories. For example, on our screen in K column, you can see weighted inch dia of the pipe. 44.86 percentages of the pipe of this particular line are short. So this is the shortage of the pipe. Same for the fitting. 28.97 percentages of the fitting are shorts only for this specific line. And in the similar manner, we can further check for the flanges. So flange and gaskets, and as well as the OLEDs. So if we do the sum up of these weightages quantities, it would come as 100% for a specific line. So this way also we can do the analysis of the shortage quantities. Going ahead now into the next one. This is the bulk shortage quantities item code wise. In G column we can see the shortage quantities. Earlier one was the line wise. And this is the category wise shortage. So pipe, fitting, flange, OLED, gasket, bolt, valve. What was the total required quantity in B column and what is the current shortage quantity? So this way we can generate the look ahead analysis. Now this analysis can also be generated for the another look lines. Now one look ahead we have seen, this is the another look ahead procedures. Now this look ahead can be generated for the auto spooling stage itself. Like Parascad is also, EPC Proman is also offering the one product called Auto Spool, where we are performing the spooling. Now here on top of the screen, we can see EFC and IFC. IFC are nothing but the isometrics which are issued for the construction. Now these isometrics are available with the contractors for the manufacturing purposes. And this particular analysis can also be done at the next level. On top of that, the preliminary MTO stage to the final MTO stage. On top of that, this further spooling procedure is carrying out over inside the auto spool application, and the same way of the look ahead analysis can be done with respect to the auto spooling data as well. Now these are the different lines. I have accessed these lines from the auto spooling software, and with the same procedures I can do this particular analysis. So same way we can get the results, everything would be the same. Only the difference is here, the number of input, that is the isometric lines from the auto spool application. So let's look at the reports. What are the reports we are generating from the MAT contract? Now this is the screen we are looking, it is like a query builder screen. Here user can define their custom choices, what kind of results they are looking to get. In the upload types, there are pre-data sets are available. We can use these data sets and we can generate any kind of summary or the comparison chart over there. So these are the like 4 pre-templates are defined over here. Next is the summary report. Based on the setted report type, I am going to generate this summary. So we can see the title, it is MTO versus PO. So both the MTOs are taken here, bulk MTO and the line MTO, and the effective quantity of individual MTO. And in the last column, the PO quantities provided. So I have exported this information into the Excel. So bulk MTO, line MTO, and the PO quantity. So by item code, I can easily track here the differences. And I can measure whether I am okay with the PO quantity, whether I'm not running with the shortages in the ordering. This information is ensured over here in the summary. Similarly, in the comparison report, MTO revision comparison we can do, like quantities between 2 different revision or 2 different stages of the MTO, or else the user custom report also we can view on our screen. So item code wise, this is the screen of the comparison. MTO versus PO is considered over here. So brown color shades are telling us the quantity of the MTOs, and blue color shades are telling us the quantities of the PO. So effective quantity with the consideration of contingency and the mandatory spares, total required quantity, exporting this information into the Excel. So this is a view of an Excel output. So MTO quantity with respect to the contingency and mandatory breakup in blue shade, mandatory total ordered quantity. Now I can monitor here how many quantities are pending for the ordering and how many quantities are over ordered. So this is the one of the comparison report. Now here I have used the data source MTO versus PO. We can manually define any data source that we want, like PR, MTO, PO, DMR, etc. Next is the cascading report. So I have selected here the choice to show me only those cascading values where result is fully possible. So for example, MTO, PR and PO, these are the three data sources are used for this cascading. The cascading report is showing us the information where is the quantity delta information is available. For example, for this particular item, row number 17, the 72 is my MTO quantity, PR quantity is 60, PO quantity is 60. So that's why delta quantity is coming over there as in 12. So 12 quantities and 8 to be initiated for the procurement. So this way, like one of the delta quantity can be monitored through this cascading report. Now going ahead into the storeman module. So right now I'm performing the login by the store department. Various logins can be distributed. Now let's understand the store department activities. So first activity is the creation of the DMR. So whatever are the POs initiated in the MAT contract application, those POs will be available over here. And once once the store department got the invoice against that particular PO, the DMR process will be initiated over here. So providing here the DMR number, invoice number, selecting the specific item against which I am going to provide the breakup input. So item code, PO number, total ordered quantity, total received quantity, total accepted quantity. This information is available on our screen, and against which I can provide the total received quantity. Now I have entered here like 10 quantities because the delivery is going to be performed in splitting manner. For the time being, I have received only 10 quantities of each item. I can similarly supply the other quantities in this manner, like total received, accepted. And we can see at the last, for the last item, I have rejected 2 items over here. Means 2 items I have not accepted over here. Only 8 items I have accepted. Now what I'm going to do with the 2 items, we'll see in the next slides. So material location, providing hit numbers, consignment numbers, detailed logistic parameters are captured over here. Waybill number, transporter's name, vehicle number, store numbers, challan date. So detail level of the logistic parameters are captured. Now store department, either they can initiate this item for the inspection request, either to the contractor QC department itself or to the consultant or the owner QC department itself. Apart from these, now these are right now we are looking at the technical items. Some of the miscellaneous items may also come into the store, like safety shoes or the helmets, safety jackets, etc. So these are the items can also be finally accepted by the store department itself. So as these are not the technical items, it will not be necessary to initiate for the further inspection procedures. So color codes are shown over here. Green items are pending and red one are the initiated. All of these created items can be tracked through this update DMR screen. If any entries I am looking to update, I can do it through this update DMR screen. Now, whatever are the quantities not accepted will be available in this OSRD report screen. For example, 2 quantities were rejected. So that 2 quantity rejected item is available on this current screen. And as a store department, I have to provide the inputs of my rejections. So basic input details I can see on my screen: received quantity, accepted quantity, damaged quantity. So I am stating here like 2 quantities were damaged, like those were the flanges, those were cracked at the face. It was the clear cut visible over there. So the store department, who is a non-technical guy, he has also stated that rejections. Next is the OSRD register. Whatever are the quantities available in the OSRD report, those are maintained over here inside the OSRD register. And one of the copy, the output of this copy can be utilized for the communication with the vendor. So this is the OSRD register. Here further inputs can be supplied, like causes, action, and status can be tracked. Now, how to raise the inspection request? So RFI is the function creating here the request for inspection. I have access here the DMR, that was the input, and here I have a choice. Suppose some of the items, for an example, instruments or the tag items, these are need to be directly raised for the inspection to the owner clearance only. So I may not entertain to the contractor QC guy for the inspection. There are possibility and there are provision is ensured over here. These quantities can be directly requested for the inspection to the consultant or the owner clearances. So login rights will also be provided to them. For this case, I have initiated the inspection requisition to the contractor QC. So right now, contractor QC department is performing the login inside the system. So in the similar manner, how the store department received the inputs. So in the similar manner, contractor QC guy will also perform the inputs. These are the basic details available on our screen with respect to the items. Apart from these, what was the inputs provided by the store department, those will be available on the screen itself. Now the contractor QC person, he has to provide their inputs. Like here, he is also providing the input, and he may also mark the rejections or the not acceptance. Like he is also providing his remarks. Like he has also rejected 2 particular items with the remarks. And just because the contractor QC department also rejected this particular item, it will be a necessity to update the OSRD register for the same item. So again, the OSRD report will be reopened over here for the same particular item, and the further inputs of the QC department will be supplied over here. So again, I can see here the summary, rejected quantity by the store department, if they have already rejected, and contractor QC department quantities. Right now, like he has uncleared the 2 quantities. Now the reason will be required over here to mention. Like 2 quantities are rejected. So this is the reason we have given. Now in this manner, the further OSRD report will get re-updated, and for whichever is the latest copy, it can be supplied to the vendor. Now, suppose the contractor QC department may also need to do the similar level of the inspection by the owner QC department. As I said, maybe for the special tag items or the instruments, it would be necessary to initiate this request for inspection. So right now, the QC department of the contractor, he is also performing the request for inspection report copy. So providing here the data and providing the checks for the owner inspection, supplying the additional inputs and saving this particular copy. Now, based on this request for inspection, the owner QC will also get the notification, and owner QC will also have the software login access. They will do the similar level of the access inside the system. Now, owner QC will also get the information. Now, here we can see the RFIs are generated by both the stakeholders, like QC department and the store department. And he will also gain the access on the same screen. The similar level of the information will be available for him as well. And he will also monitor, he will also track the existing clearances raised by provided by the store departments as well as by the contractor department, contractor QC department, and owner is further providing their statuses. Now here are chances owner may also reject some of the quantities, and then again OSRD will be re-updated and the latest copies will be eligible for the vendor's submission. So that was the start to end process. Now what are the reports we are getting from the store module? We can see DMR, OSRD, request for inspection, material requisition, material issue voucher, inward material issue, inward material inspection report. For example, we can see this inward material inspection report on our screen. A detailed level of the screen is detailed level of the values are shown over here. All the items and their parameters, and then the transaction, invoice quantity, received quantity, accepted quantity. If any rejection done by the store department, then damage, declared by the store, and rejection and damage declared by the contractor QC, what was the PO reference number, hit number, if any clearance given by the contractor QC, unclearance given by the contractor QC, and finally the owner clearance given by the owner quality department. So these are the labels available with us through this report. So that was from the demonstration point of view. Let's quickly understand here the highlights, what we have seen so far. So MAT contract and store management procedures these are the two modules grouped together, working together, handling the procedures like procurement, material planning, and data compare. So in procurement, we have seen MTO analysis for finding out the effective material requirement quantity, material substitution, and the stock transfer. This application is useful for the other any discipline apart from the piping, like structural, civil, equipment, electrical, E&I, HSE. Substitution procedure is there, stock transfer procedure is there, effective purchase quantity is analyzing is available, material purchase control we have seen with respect to the control on the delivery tracking schedule, raising of the purchase request, raising of the purchase order. In the planning side, we have seen the data sources like material delivery schedule tracking with respect to the CDD, contractual delivery date, forecast delivery date, shipment release date, transit dates, ETA dates, and the inspection dates. We identified the material shortages, not delivered or the over received with respect to the OSRD. Material available in the both form, inspected is the IMR quantity, non-inspected is the DMR quantities. Material PO is placed in transit, we tracked. Material MTO was the initial resources. We looked for the MTO stages, preliminary, intermediate, final, and top up. Then we have understood the reports, PO versus PR, MTO versus purchase quantity, order versus deliver quantity, cascading reports, and apart from that, the user customization based reporting is also available over there. So that's it from the today's demonstration side.